Good morning. Can we begin with Tino Livramento, please, taken off injured the other night? Do you know the extent of the injury now?
No, we're on our way to. I don't think it's a serious injury. The complication we have is I think Tino's injured that knee before in a very similar area, so that always, makes the potential recovery time a little bit longer. So I don't think we'll see him possibly before 2026.
So what you're saying there is you maybe need to be a bit more careful with him given his injury history, particularly with the knee, not just this season but the one he had before you signed?
Yeah, I think it's like any player. When you suffer an injury to the same area twice, that always adds a layer of complication to it. I think it's a minor injury, but it will keep him out probably a few weeks.
And what's the latest on Lewis Hall, who wasn't in your squad the other night, and could he be available this weekend?
Yeah, he could be. He felt some fatigue in his hamstring after the Sunderland game. Wasn't evident in the game. It was more a couple of days afterwards. So he had a scan. The scan didn't reveal too much. So let's see.
With no Lewis Hall and Tino Livramento going off injured, how pleased were you with Alex Murphy when he came on, went to left back in such an important game?
Yeah, in an important moment for the team, Alex did really well. He's someone that's trained with us for a long time. He hasn't had any major game exposure with us, but he's had a lot of training time, a lot of development. He's had a good loan spell, so he's someone that we trust. And performances like that will only do him good for the long term.
I don't know, about 45 minutes or so after the final whistle, you got the draw for the semi-finals. Manchester City, home and away, home first. You were going to be facing a top team, whoever you were paired with, but what was your reaction when it was Manchester City?
Probably wasn't the ideal draw for us, but I don't think there was an ideal draw for us with the quality of teams left in, as you say. I think our preference would have been to play at home second, as we did last year. So I think that was probably the bigger thing rather than the opponent. So we sort of got hit twice with that, but it is what it is. You're in a major competition. You're going to play the top teams. We had to do that last year. We had to beat everyone really to win that cup that we did. So we're going to have to do the same again.
There's been plenty of talk and plenty of questions put to you this season about late goals conceded. So how nice was it to profit from a late goal? It's the second time you've done that to Fulham this year. Obviously it happened in the league, but obviously the players kept going and were determined to make sure that you won it in the 90 plus added on time and not go to penalties.
Yeah, you're right. It's nice to be on the right end of one of those. No better feeling in football than scoring late and winning late. We haven't done it enough. We felt the pain the other way, so great to do that, and hopefully that's a sign that we can do it more often.
And what do you make of Chelsea this season? Your opponents, 12:30 Saturday lunchtime. Not a lot of time between games. Obviously they had a successful summer, didn't they, at the Club World Cup, and how do you assess the way they've continued into the Premier League campaign?
Yeah, I think they're progressing. I think they're continue to get better. I think there's been a lot of change at Chelsea over recent seasons. They've gone very youthful with their recruitment, and I think long term you'll definitely see the benefits of that. And I think very good manager, very good style of play, a very good team. So we're going to have to be very good, as you say. Short recovery time for us, big challenge this week. But we're looking forward to that. I think we like the early kickoffs. We love playing at home. So I think anything we can do to help swing this in our direction is important.
Thanks, Reza. Keith?
Sorry, Eddie, I might have missed it there. Is Tino's injury, is it you said it's an injury he's had before, is it the one he did the same area that he did earlier this season?
No, I think it's... Well, I don't want to talk too long,
okay.
Too much detail, but I think this is one that he's done before.
Okay. Your other defenders that you're missing, and there's a few of them, Sven Bottom and Jamal Lascelles, and then the two full-backs, Trippier and Kraft. Is there any chance of any of them for the weekend?
No, I don't think so.
So that would suggest he did well the other night. Lewis Miley at right back. Is it an opportunity for him, if you want to call it that, for an extended run in that position?
We've got a couple of options, not many, but we've got a couple of options. So I'll have to make a decision based on the opponent and what I think is the best thing for the team. But yeah, Louis did really well last game. Really, really pleased with him. As I said afterwards, great goal, great composure and a really strong performance. So let's see. Every game is so different tactically. The challenges posed by each team are different. So I'll have to try and pick the right team.
Up until now this season, the injury situation has been fairly manageable. It's the odd player here and there. This is the first time you've had a number in a kind of concentrated area. How difficult is that going to be in the sort of short to medium future when you look at your schedule coming up, because it's pretty relentless, isn't it?
It is. I think that's the disappointing thing. We don't have a huge number of injuries, but we just have them focused in one area, and I think that has stretched us in the last few weeks. I think the fixture congestion this season has been like no other, and the cup run is a great thing, but of course that adds to it. We haven't just had a week even where we could just sort of regroup, but in some senses, as getting used to that as a football club is what we have to do for the long term, and be able to adapt and grow with that challenge and find ways to continue to be consistently successful while managing injuries, schedule, fatigue, is all part of the process that we need to go through. So it's not ideal, the situation we're in right now, but hopefully a lot of those players aren't long term. We can get them back, and of course we have the transfer window if we need it. Yeah,
that was my next question. Does it alter your thinking then ahead of January with so many players being out, or given the fact that they all seem to be over a short spell, are you going to just try and get through it, if you like, over the next few weeks?
Yeah, I think we have to make the right decision. We don't want to recruit anybody in sort of a short-term need that creates a long-term problem. So I think we just have to assess the injury situation when it comes to January, which will be with us very, very quickly. But it may well be that we're making decisions based on sort of how the picture looks in that first week.
Thanks. Richard?
Eddie, in the context of your managerial experience, you've highlighted the number of injuries you've got defensively particularly. Is this up there with one of the most challenging aspects of your career so far? Because from the outside at least, it looks as if you're fast getting to a stage where you're going to have to start looking at putting square pegs in round holes. I think I've had all sorts of challenging periods in loads of different ways. I don't think you can compare one to the other. I think as long as you can put a team out onto the pitch you think is competitive, then I'm good with that. Yeah, sometimes you're playing players out of position, but you see a lot of teams up and down the country doing the same thing. So as long as we're putting good players on the pitch, I think that's all that matters, and I back them to perform. And in terms of this weekend's opponents, Chelsea, you've spoken about their style of play and how they've moved to a more youthful-looking squad. How has the way they approach games evolved over the last couple of years under Enzo's management, and what problems do they pose you this weekend?
Yeah, I think you can see Enzo's philosophy. But Leicester, I thought he did a magnificent job, and he's taken that to Chelsea. And it's I think they're always a team that I enjoy to watch. They're very composed. They're very pattern related and structure related. So they do a lot of work in their shape, and you can see that they're in a possession focused team. They've got some outstanding technical players as well, so that they'll pose us some problems if our defensive work isn't of the highest level. In the main, I think this season we've defended pretty well, so I think that'll be a good challenge for us. And then we've got to hurt them the other way. I think we've had some good battles against them last season, some really good games. We enjoyed those tussles, and we were competitive. We're going to need to be competitive again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alistair?
Hi Eddie, how has Johan Wissa responded to playing 70 minutes? Obviously you'll want him to be involved as much as he can, but I guess you'll need to protect him as well, coming back from that injury.
Yeah, I think he's responded well. I mean, I thought he played very well in the game. I thought his movement was excellent. His fitness for how long he's been out, I thought was very good. He kept running, he kept the intensity levels up for a long period of time, so I was very, very pleased. As I said, he played longer than maybe we planned on him playing because he looked so good in that moment, and he wanted to stay on and he wanted to score more goals. So I think it was a really good start for him. Very, very positive night.
I think there was mention before of potentially bringing Matt Targett back from Middlesbrough. I guess the risk with that is if everyone comes back to full fitness, then maybe he isn't needed. Have there been conversations with him or with Borough yet?
No, nothing at this stage. Let him concentrate on his football. We'll have those conversations if and when we need to.
I was looking back at the league table this time a year ago. You were 12th
same as you are now. I know there's been a bit of disappointment about the league form now, but I guess that would give you confidence that things will really turn around, because last season probably the best season you've had here.
I think football can change so quickly in lots of different ways. So I never lose sight of that when you're in a difficult moment or a perceived difficult moment. You have to have belief in your players, belief in yourself, belief in everything that you've done historically, that things can turn and you can build momentum the other way. Now, we did that last season unbelievably well. We went on a consistent run of wins that we haven't been able to do so far this season. And that's not to say that we're not capable of doing that in the next few weeks. So I think that's the plan. I think the difference this year to last is our schedule. Is the relentlessness of the fixtures. Now, that doesn't have to be a negative thing. That can be a positive thing, because when you're winning and you bring that momentum into your season, you want the games to come thick and fast. So we've got to try and hit that purple patch that we need to elevate our Premier League position in particular.
Thank you. Damien?
Morning, Eddie.
Morning.
Eddie, just going back to something you said to Keith there, has the last few weeks felt like a bit of a grind in some respects?
No, we've loved it. I don't think grind's the right word. I think the only time it becomes difficult is when you're not getting the results that you want or the performances you want, whichever. If you get both together like we did at Sunderland, that's a tough one to take. So no, it doesn't feel like a grind. It feels enjoyable to be in the competitions we're in and the matches we're in, and then you see what lays ahead. So another semi-final for us, 2 great games, amazing challenges for us. The Champions League is still there for us, so lots of positive stuff on the horizon. The issue with that is we can't look too far ahead because the games are coming and they're coming thick and fast, and the Premier League has to be the priority. So we have to look at that and address our form and consistency in that league and try and climb the table.
Just generally, you've talked a few times this season about when you've not been what you describe as your fluent best. Do you think it's been underestimated, the impact Alex Isak's departure had on the way you're able to play the style? Because he and Nick obviously have very different strengths.
Yeah, I don't think it's just that. I think there's been other changes to the team. I think Alex's role in the team obviously was so important. He was leading the line. I think whenever you have that player in that position with the multi-skills that he had, you're going to be a slightly different team. Now, that's not to say that Nick can't be hugely successful here and the team can't be successful with him in it. But we just need to find ways to play better and feel those rhythms and partnerships that we pride ourselves on. I think the biggest challenge of the lot is the fact that we just haven't trained. So we've got new players come into the squad and we haven't been able to train with them and bed them into the team that way. That always proves very challenging. They're having to do it through games, which obviously isn't as quick, I don't think, as introduction as to the training time that you'd normally get.
Just squeeze another quick one in if I may. In that respect, Johan perhaps has similar strengths to Alex in some respects. Does that give you more options in terms of how you can play and how you can set up as a team?
Yeah, I mean, I think Johan is probably more closely linked to Alex's style, without being Alex himself. Johan's got his own strengths and is running in behind. In particular, on Wednesday night, I thought was excellent. His movement for slip passes and for stretching their back line, I thought was right out the top drawer. It was a great lesson for any young striker to watch his movement in that game. So he's his own man and he will bring his own strengths. It's great to have him available, and I think having that player there will benefit Nick as well. So it definitely makes us stronger.
Thanks, Damon. We'll go to Lee, Jordan and Dominic, please.
Eddie, just on Jamal Lascelles, he's obviously been out for a while. He had no reserve games or anything like that. Is it realistic to think you can just throw him in the next couple of games?
No, Jamal's not feeling great in his body at the moment, so I don't think that's an option for us.
Obviously, the transfer window just around the corner. Is it something you didn't think you would have to tap into, given how the season was going, and now suddenly you've got this spate of injuries? Is it something you're going to have to turn to utilise?
Yeah, I think we're always looking to be opportunistic. If there's something there that everyone feels will benefit the club for the short and long term, that would be something I think we'd look to do. Depending on what happens in the next few days, weeks, that obviously may change. There might become a need and a necessity to be active, but I think we just have to make that decision when it comes round. I don't think we can make that decision now.
Finally, a quick one. Great that we got through the semi-finals. Great, we're doing well in Champions League. But are the cups in danger sometimes of papering over more serious cracks because we've been in the bottom half of the table for most of the season?
Well, we want to do well in every competition. So I don't think we can be criticised for doing well in the cups, or we're not looking to paper over any cracks. We know the Premier League is where we're probably going to be judged the most. So our Premier League form has to improve.
Jordan?
How's Nick Pope doing? Could he be involved this weekend?
He's probably the closest of all the players. He's doing well. He's back on the grass. He's training, diving, kicking. Whether he makes this game or not, I'm not sure.
And when you look at Johan's performance the other night, could he be the key to turning around the season?
Yeah, I mean, any player could be the key. You're looking for your players to be in the best form consistently, and I think we've seen all the players go through spikes of really good games, and then maybe not back it up over the next group of games. So isolated good performances isn't enough. We need consistent runs. Of course, every team's looking for the same thing, but I think that's the key. Johan can definitely help us in that respect, but the responsibility's on everybody.
You've been asked before if Johan and Nick can play together. Can your system sort of accommodate two strikers? Can it evolve to that?
We've always, historically, going way back, used two strikers. Haven't done it so much here, but then we did go through spells where we used Alex and Callum together. So of course you can adapt any system to any two players, but I think what is really important when you play two strikers, you don't lose control of the pitch in other areas, and you have your two strikers starved of the ball. So I think it's a delicate balance for us. Two outstanding players that you'd love to see on the pitch together, of course, but not to the detriment of the team.
Thank you. Dominic, Sean and Kieran, please.
Morning, Eddie. What about the way your team is playing, or at least trying to play this season, gives you hope and belief, confidence that you can still have a successful campaign?
What is it? What is it about the team? What is it about what we're doing?
Yeah, the way you're playing.
Well, I think if you look at us statistically, goal creation has been our biggest issue. I think statistically we're the second best defensive team in the Premier League this year, which is no mean feat. Despite the fact we've conceded late goals, our defensive structures have been pretty sound. It's with the ball and goal creation, chance creation, that has always been our big strength, seems to have deserted us a little bit, and that's the big challenge for us, is to get more output in front of goal, get more from all areas of the team to supply chances for our front players, and our front players to contribute more in helping them do that as well. So I think that's the area we have to improve. Then you add loads of different layers on, your set plays and for and against have got to be better, and then I could go on till the end of time, in terms of the small things you need to turn good performances into more wins.
Just on Joelinton, how is he? And you've previously described him as a player who has the desire to play anywhere, could play anywhere. Could he be an emergency solution to your defensive crisis?
Possibly. I wouldn't think that's one of my first looks, but who knows what's going to happen in the next few days, so let's see.
And how is he fitness-wise?
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, he's training. I'm taking advice from the medical team. They can say he can be involved. But whether I push him to start a game at the moment, or my intention is probably to let him recover maybe a few more days and then see when he's ready to start.
Okay, Sean?
Morning, Eddie. João Pedro is obviously a player who you'd be looking to stop tomorrow and was linked heavily with yourselves in the summer as well. What have you made of his start of life for Chelsea, and what qualities does he possess that you sort of need to nullify tomorrow?
Yeah, I think João's a very, very good player. Technically, he's excellent. He can come in and link play. He's got a physical presence. He can lead the line. He's got that stature in his game, and he's a scorer of good goals. So I haven't watched him independently. I've watched Chelsea. I've watched a lot of their games, as always, in preparation for this game. And he'd be one of the very good attacking players we'll have to control.
And just obviously with the defensive injuries mounting up, you had Leo Shahar on the bench on Wednesday. Just for Newcastle fans who wouldn't have seen much of him, because obviously he's played for the under-21s, under-18s, what sort of player is he, and how confident would you be to throw him in if he was needed?
Yeah, I mean, Leo's another talented young player here. I think he possesses the ability to play both sides, so left back and right back. He's done both for us. He's trained with us intermittently for, I'd say, around a season, depending on our numbers. But an England youth international, highly rated, really good athletically. Yeah, so he's in and around it, and he's certainly someone that we would trust, having trained with him for a long period of time.
Just a final one for me. Obviously, Enzo Maresca, he's won 2 trophies at Chelsea, got them back in the Champions League, but there's still sort of like criticism around the job that he's done there. Does this sort of sum up how difficult it is to be a Premier League manager?
Yeah, the profession. You don't think you come into the profession if you want an easy life. It's an unforgiving role. All you can do is your best, and you just try and lead your team. And I think he's done this with real dignity through good times and bad times, and that's all we can do.